Good afternoon, friends in the media, the press, old friends. Maraming salamat for giving us your time today, noon time. As po sinasabi noon time ito, bagong gising dito. But thank you for coming, nevertheless. I, well, ito ang second directorial project ko with Dear Opera. And I know these people very well, Sherwin and Glenn, and there's Randy Longo, Peter Porticos, of course my daughter Anna, who founded Dear Opera. So I'm very familiar with their goals, and I like to support them in their projects. And siguro na-notice ninyo that, well, this is the first musical. Kasi dati opera ginagawa nila at some concerts. And then this is the first musical. And you will, part of the mission of Lir Opera, aside from promoting Philippine music, in particular film opera, but in this musical, you can see that one of their important missions is to find new talents so that there is always something fresh to offer the public as far as Philippine music is concerned. And you can see the new talents that we have. And some of them you don't know yet, we're introducing them to you. This is not the complete cast yet, but all of the cast is total of 17 lang. But 17, napili because we had an audition precisely because gusto namin humanap ng bago. So, ito ngayon, we have 17, and you will appreciate this much because as Sherwin told you, ang istorya is biblical. So, si Nestor talaga sinulat yung the greatest story ever told, kumbaga, magmula ng Adan at Eva hanggang sa the assumption of Mary into heaven. So, ang dami mga eksena yan. At the same time, na merong narrator ito. So, ang production na ito is really, theatrically, it's like a Greek presentation. Greek in the sense that meron kang chorus at meron kang tigaganap. Pero ang unique dito sa production na to, sila rin. Yung chorus, nagiging sila rin ang character sa gumaganap. Balik uli sa chorus, balik uli. Makikita ninyo how they switch roles, and it's really exciting, and I hope that we can pull this off because it's new. Yung dedication nila to their, apart from the coming to the auditions, they came for 1 month for just music rehearsals under Professor Randy Hilongo. So for 1 month yung music lang, yung voice rehearsals. And then I came in with a blocking, and right now they are, aside from the blocking, meron silang mga movement choreography, nagkaka-workshop lang din nila, and so on and so forth. So this is really, to me, it's a revival of my old love, which is theater. Although sila ang gumaganap ng ideas na lamang ng staging, ideas ko for staging. So I hope that this is something new. This is exciting. This is also difficult. At siyempre, medyo may kahirapan. Kasi, kaya nga nang sinasabi, siguro man, iba sa inyo alam na pagka the project has to do with Magnificat, the Blessed Mother, laging mahirap yung. Mahirap, pero alam ko naman at the same time, I'm confident that we can pull this off and we'll have a really good show. It's not just, kasi pag sinabi mong religious drama, parang right away you lose na at least kalahati ng audience mo na ayaw manood ng religious. But no, this is, to me, this is also a very, it can be and not just engaging but also entertaining. And the reason for that is of course the libretto of Nestor Torre and the music, the powerful music of Ryan Cayabyab, plus the talents that we are presenting in this production, the voices. And so, they're also willing actors kasi naka-workshop lang namin. They were all 100% there, um, totally, workshop. So, yun. I hope that you can help us promote this because we hope that there are people who actually want to watch this. Kasi yung initial commercial in the sense that it hasn't been shown much commercially, but actually it's the longest running musical, Philippine musical. And lagi siyang, kaya siya 20 years ang buhay niya on the road is because actually maraming requests sa kanya sa mga parokya. So we're doing this on Music Museum, and we're doing it in such a way that although it's bigger in staging than the original one, it is also portable. It can go around the Philippines for everybody who can come to the Music Museum and who want to watch Magnificat. Thank you.
Yeah, at this point of the press con, we'd like to open the floor for questions and answers. We have the microphone right over there, if you can.
Suppose we were small when the stage, how familiar are you with
Actually, I wasn't born yet when they staged. It was, I think, 1996, and my birth year is 1997. So your question is how familiar I am
with the material?
with the material. Kasi I'm a very big devotee of Mama Mary. And I'm a very devout Catholic then. So that's why I'm very familiar of the stories because I'm kind of, I know the story of Mama Mary ever since because I sang in a Marian school. So, yeah, so I think I'm familiar of it because of my devotion to her. And of course, Jesus.
Just like Lori's Marian devotee. What about Al? How old were you when were you born?
She's already
first staging.
I was just hearing stories about the production when I started sa theater from like Kuya Bochi, who was part of the first cast before. And I've been hearing a lot of good stories about it. And this is a dream for me to be part of this production. That's why when Sherwin asked me to be part of it and knowing that it's gonna be with them because they've been my old friends, Sherwin, Anna, and Glenn in the industry. And I was so excited to say yes actually. And then knowing that it will be Magnificat. Of course, the music of Ryan Kelgab and then the libretto. And having Direk Loris as our director, I could say na she's very nurturing. Actually, parang siya yung Magnificat. Siya yung ina namin in the whole production. She takes care of us very, very well. So, yun yung masarap ng feeling. That's why I told them, everybody, na every time I go to the rehearsals, it's a joy. Kasi having them around and I guess it is really will be a very memorable production for everyone.
So, Loris, Marian devotee, and I suppose Anna and Alisa. You are Marian devotee.
Yeah, I am.
How many members of the cast are Marian devotees?
I think more than half of the cast, right? Yeah. Because I am a devotee of Our Lady of Perpetual Help and all and other saints. And that's why I'm very close to Mama Mary also. And I grew up without my mom on my side because I grew up sa Lola. So that's why and my teachers back in grade school, they introduced me to the Our Lady of Perpetual Help. That's my guide. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay na, Tito Ricky. Thank you po sa Tito Ricky ng Philippine Star. Sunod po si Kuya Mario Dumawal ng ABS-CBN.
Panood na review yung 1996. Okay. Eloise, congratulations. Nakaka-excite that you're now at the helm of Magnificat. Pakikwento mo lang kung ano yung konteksto, ano kabigat yung pagsasabi mo ng ganito. How can I say no to Mama Mary?
Actually, the one that put it to me was si Anna.
Si Anna, okay.
Oo. Kasi, well, she's with Little Opera. And like before, she asked me if I could, he was also the one that they asked to ask me to direct Carmen. So I accepted it, no? Because it was the first time I would direct an opera.
Correct.
So, eto ngayon, nung sinabi, can you direct Magnificat? So, in my mind, alam ko mahirap yun. Mahirap talaga, not just the staging,
True.
mahirap. Sabi ko, mahirap, tsaka paano mo gawing, attractive to the audience? This is kung sinasabing religious, ayaw na, di ba? So, mahirap, but then, I never say that, but immediately, alam kong, it's not them asking me, it's Mama Mary asking me, parang gano'n. So parang, how can I say no? Laging yes yan, no matter what. Pikit mata, talon. Alam ko, maging may, sabi ko kay si Sherwin, syempre, pinag-uusapan namin mga, syempre, mga difficulties in the production. Tapos sabi ko, Sherwin, kung ano man ang sabihin ko, huwag mo nang i-process na masasaktan ka. I-diretso mo na lang sa finger mo at i-text mo yung tao, may problema ako.
Okay.
Kasi gano'n.
Was it hard, Anna, to convince?
No, actually, when they asked, kasi Sherwin and I, we were talking na, ano kayang maganda nating next production na gawin sa lyric opera? I was thinking it because I was part of the original cast. I was only 5th. When they were rehearsing and auditioning in our house, I was only 14 years old. So I knew the music before they even staged it. Ako nag-Xerox na. Si Mami nag-transcribe, tapos ako ang nag-Xerox ng script. I was 14. Nakita ko po sila Shelley Diaz na audition noon and other Dulce and Tita Dulce, Tita Pinky were audition. As in, and so when he asked me what kind of musical career, I was already thinking of Magnificat, but I wasn't like, nag-iingat ako. Sabi niya, Ana, Magnificat ni Tito Nes. Ganyan. Oh my gosh, yun din ang iniisip ko. And then like, oh no, how do we stage this? Who would be the perfect director?
And top of mind mo is?
Nag-iingat din ako kasi si Mami was taping MWF and then shooting Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and she's not spring chicken. So although she does look young, I'm also careful na ayoko namang pagulin si Mami. So sabi ko, the perfect one who would respect the material enough and who has depth and also the freedom, who is magaling, very free ang ideas. So I said, si Mami ideally, but I'm gonna see if kaya kasi she's really busy. So I waited a few days. Sumatsyempo ako sa kanya. When I went on, she was just playing cards on the computer. Kasi may staging ng Magni, tapos nalibit sa big, I also wanna be in it, and I'll be in it. So, parang hinihimas ko na, you want to direct it? Yes! Or Mama Mary, yes! Parang, when I texted, remember, prepared na ako sa monologue ko para kung paano siya i-convince, but
Good.
diretso.
Kala namin may VR.
Wala.
Violent reaction.
Wala. Yes! All for Mama Mary, sige, yes.
Ang natanong sa Nick,
And a question lang, are you going to invite Nestor to the gala? Kung pwede na siya, go out.
Kung pwede, actually we invited him today, but he's a little weak pa. So hopefully in the gala, or if not in the gala, any of the shows, we will definitely have him there.
So alam niya itong staging and what was his reaction the first time you told him about the staging?
Pumunta po kasi kami sa Marikina where he is recuperating. And then doon po, he was very weak. Actually, he was prepared to talk to him for probably an hour. Pero within 10 minutes po, he wanted to sleep na. He was really that weak. But when I mentioned po sa kanya that we wanted to do a new stage in Magnificat, he said yes. And then, yun na po. Sabi niya, yeah, you can get the materials from Andy. But yeah, it's really weak po. But we were still hoping that he will be able to watch.
my last question for Luis. Did you touch the material? Did you have to modify it? Well, my question is, paano ka mag-respond dun sa challenge to present Magnificat in our times?
I
I think my response to that, because this has been a question also that in many ways been expressed by some of our cast. And I said exactly that the way, it's not important to me to show it as if it happened 2000, I mean, in the costuming or the staging that it's in Jerusalem or Nazareth. It's not important. It could be, and even that you are looking, Filipinos, and ang importante, nararamdaman, mapasok, you can empathize with the circumstances ng mga characters. No matter how small, alam na natin, yung centurion, hinihimay-may namin yon, yung ganon, yung mga relationships, yung mga yung nasa puso nun. Because ultimately, I think that the point is to make this viewable by everybody. The actors have to connect with the audience. So, connect puso sa puso.
Si Don Sermino po ng Abante.
For Eliza or Alisa?
Alisa po.
Yeah, kasi curious lang ako, ang galing-galing mong kumanta, pero parang hindi mo siya nagamit noon nung mas bata ka pa, kasi parang first mo to audition and professional talaga. So before ba wala kang interest talagang pumasok sa musical or?
I graduated po sa may USC. I took up Bachelor of Music major in musical theater. So, nag-focus po muna ako in finishing my studies. Kaya hindi po ako nag-audition muna sa musicals kasi gusto ko po siyang tapusin in 5 years. So yeah, then when my professor, who's also part of lyric opera, yes, she told me to audition. So I took the leap of faith and knowing na, it's Magnificat, it's the life of Jesus, the mga stars. So I took the leap of faith to audition.
So now na-try mo na, pwedeng idinidiretso mo?
Well, if it's, God willing, why not? Yeah, God willing.
Kasi ang ganda ng boses niya, nagkulat ako kanina.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sunod kong tanong si Erwin Santiago ng Bandera.
Kay Direk. Direk, anong mas challenging or saan ka mas nag-enjoy? Kasi di ba parang tumatak pa rin sa viewers yung ika-anim na putos. Na talagang, sakitan. Pero dito, iba naman. Religious niya. Saan ka mas na-challenge yun?
Iba naman ang challenge dun sa sa ka-anim na utos. Ang challenge dun yun talagang Monday, Wednesday, Friday, tapos puyatan, tsaka kahit, parang yun, tawag dun. You tape it now, you air it tomorrow or even later today, So parang doon ako, yung challenge, doon ako nagka-high blood. Doon ako laging hinihika, and so on. Pero masarap din naman dahil malaki kita. Ang tagal, malaki ang kita. Diba? So, pero ito, ang challenge dito, hindi ako sisingil. Kasi para to kay Mama Mary. At alam ko na magiging mahirap ito. Hindi ko pa alam kung ano mga problema ibibigay sa akin. At the same time, na looking forward, I have faith din naman na kung ano man ang pagkukulang namin lahat para sa show, pupunuan niya pagdating sa oras. So, doon ako excited, no? So, doon ako parang, there's definitely, ang challenge dito, pinapagaan nila, mabait sa akin nila. Mabait nila sa akin. Pinapakain ako ng, sinusundo ako and all of that, But, it's a challenge lang, to my creativity. Paano ko ma-transmit sa audience yung message na alam ko, si Nestor, iniisip ko, I put myself, when I listen to them rehearsing, I'm thinking, what must have gone on in Nestor's mind? Why did he write this? Because it's like, if you're writing your last, ito na isusulat mo eh. Parang, iniisip ko, mga ganon iniisip ko. So parang gusto ko rin, na ano man yun, gusto ko rin ibigay the best. Because he was my teacher, Nung mag-enroll ako sa Ateneo, he was I majored in siya ang head ng department na yun. So he was really a great mentor to me, and I tried my best, and he was naman fantastic. He would give me A+, you know, and gano'n. So, yeah. So ito, gusto kong gano'n din ang mangyayari. I want him to be happy and fulfilled that his student, you know, did came across well for his dream. This is the only music. No, he's done other musicals, but this is like it started it all. So yun, ang haba ng sagot ko. Pero
Thank
yun.
you po, Keisha. Next po si David na. David.
Hello. Actually, director ko si Sheila sa ibang musical. So, I heard about one of the songs, The Attitudes. And ang tanong ko actually is more, ano yung songs or scene sa musical na talagang strikes you, na may impact, na you would highlight na once people go to that part, that song or that scene, dun sila lalakas yung faith nila or ma-inspire sila? Anyone who wants to answer.
Ako yung Jesus had his temptation in the desert, but also Mary had her own temptation and was also attacked by the devil, and it showed, tumatak sa akin, and actually dun yung eksena yun ang pinaka-intimidated ako sa buong musical kasi it showed Mama Mary's humanity. It showed the side of her that had fears and had and hurt, and kasi usually conceptually kita mo si Mama Mary kalmado, hindi lagi, but it is as an actor doon ako pinaka na-intimidate at pinaka talagang nahihirapan at nag-enjoy din at the same time kasi I am going through the journey of fears, hurt, doubts, and because she sees yung mangyayari sa anak niya, at ang dali namang to say, bitawan ko na to, ayoko na, but she's there all throughout the journey, carrying the cross with Jesus. So yun ang pinaka-tumatak sa akin kasi nakita yung side ni Mama Mary na hindi pretty. Yeah.
For me, would be yung song na kinanta namin kanina. The song with my Sinang Maria and then Jesus. Because it shows na tao yun, like talking about humanity. Na tao rin sila, yung typical mom and a son, na yung how much she would care for her son, na hindi mapahamak, hindi masaktan. But then, of course, knowing Jesus na meron siyang mission, and then the reason why he came here is to save us, nandun pa rin yung concern niya and love for his son, and yet, through their faith, doon nila naintindihan, how you handled it. Right?
Yeah, and the strength it took, now that we're going through the journey of getting into their shoes, the strength it took for them to follow God's will is just amazing. Very, I feel so unworthy. Every time I have to go to rehearsal, I feel this unworthiness. No?
Yeah, that's true. That's why we're encouraging everyone, at the end, and especially you, to help us spread the word. Kasi this is very timely, and everyone needs to understand this para as a guide for everyone, for all the moms, for all the kids. Thank you.
And another thing, so after you go inside the musical, what changes does it make for you personally? Like, does it actually inspire you to be a better version of yourself after, going through the practice?
Yeah, actually, it's every day. It forces you to get grounded, to know what you really, as a person, as Anna. It forces me to listen more, to be more grounded, to be more vulnerable. This is such a vulnerable journey for me. It's an effort not to cry every time we have a rehearsal. It's an effort na, kasi ang tataas ng kanta eh. So, ang daling gumanon talaga. And it's a scary, painful, but fulfilling journey because you go through, you experience the humanity of each role and the humanity of Mama Mary. Although I always feel unworthy, there is that parang gusto mo na kung si Mama Mary sumunod lang, sunod din ako. And what comes out of it is I become, I guess I become more selfless. You know, after every rehearsal, during rehearsal. Because it's hard. Every night, I'm teaching 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and then diretso rehearsal. And these people also coming from their work and all and commuting, it's tiring. But once you get to the rehearsal, there's this spirit of just helping each other and supporting and encouraging each other. So yeah.
Siguro yung one thing that made me see during the process of preparing for it. Kasi what helps me also with it is, personally through the rosary. Parang I asked Mama Mary to please let me in your heart. So parang it makes me see my. What I learned so far is the humility. It makes me see na I'm just an instrument, and in my nothingness and my littleness. Parang kumbaga, yeah, it really made me learn how to be humble. That I'm just nothing and this is all grace. That's what made me learn.
One thing I want to add, I like yung experience namin because very seldom na nangyari na production that they hold a workshop. And we were so blessed last Friday when we had that workshop. It made us, to open up to each and everyone, the whole cast. So it's easier for us to work as one. So yun yung part ng process na talagang feeling for us is it's a blessing already. And to know our characters, especially because usually the ensemble, because yun nga, sila yung mas maraming ginagawa na characters. Like in a split second, meron ng iba na characters on stage. So parang yun yung pinaka-challenge. And yeah, it's a blessing for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next po si G. Triñana, Malaya. Si Aiza rin. Ng Tribune.
Meron lang akong issue. Bakit music museum ang venue? Because I know Magnificat is always performed in either church. Ano ba ang purpose ng performing it in a secular venue? And the challenge in the music museum is that it's not, you don't have an audience that will really watch. Kasi may mga waiter yan na iikot-ikot, nagdadala ng kung ano-ano mga order. So yan ang malaking challenge kay Loris. Unless of course you say, hey, stop the service. So, yun, oo. Yeah, Loris, how are you going to face the challenge?
Naisip ko na yun kasi isa ako dun sa mga ganong audience. Habang nanonood. Wait. Yeah, naisip ko na yun. Ewan ko, you cannot stop it. But it's part of the, siguro, it's, well, we perform. Gawin lang namin to the, let's say, you see that the energy, the charism of Magnificat, the play, will make them choke on their food. Hindi, pero okay lang yun. Kasi alam naman namin gano'n yung place. I mean, ako din naman, I like to eat when I'm watching. But it doesn't mean that I'm not interested. It only helps na, gusto ko nga doon dahil nakakain But to add to yung sinabi yung kanina, yung sagot, this is maybe the effect on the audience. Me, as a director, looking at the, from Act 1 to Act 2, yung isa sa kagandahan na, maraming maganda ako natutuklasan sa musical na yon. At isa sa mga devices na gustong-gusto ko, na napakalakas, na ayon sa mensahe ni Nestor, is of course, when in Act 1, when the angel appears to Mary and tells her the plan of God for her to bear a son, and so on, siyempre what's in the Bible, maikli lang, pero siguro ang tagal nila nag-usap ng angel, pinaliwanag. And then she sings her Magnificat, be it done to me according to His will. Ang napakaliit kong tao, ako ang napili na susi dyan sa ano na yan, pangyayari niya. And then, in Act 2, she sings it again, the Magnificat, after all these troubles and after she saw na yung trial ni Jesus, na, yung, not just the temptation, but the mismo, the trial na magaganap na. Yung bang habang nagaganap na, yung bang habang he has been captured, he has been scourged, he has been crowned, and then judged, and then walked through all the and then nailed on the cross. She sings again the Magnificat. This time, during the fulfillment, na siyempre, madali yung ganito ang plano. Okay, mahirap. Sige lang. Pero, habang nagaganap, nabibiyak yung puso niya. And then she sings again the Magnificat. To me, it doesn't fail to make me cry inside every time I hear that in the rehearsals. And then I think that this should be seen, if only for this aspect, it should be seen if all of us are undergoing through the years, and even in recent years, ang daming problema na. Siyempre, yung iba sa atin, marunong na lang tayo tumawa kahit ano. Pero, nandyan yan sa puso natin na magbibigyan at dinadala. And yet, this is an act of faith, kumbaga of Mary, if transmitted effectively sa parang nakakabigay ng lakas ng loob sa tingin ko.
Second question, sa lyric opera, when you thought of restaging this, did you ever think that it can be a secular musical and not necessarily religious, and therefore you can invite non-religious performers to audition for certain roles? For example, si Alisa is not a devotee of the Virgin Mary, but is a talented singer and can perform as such. Pwede ba yung ganon? O talagang prerequisite dito ang isang kailangan devotee ka o religious ka para ma-express mo yung ibig palabasin ng author nito na si Nestor?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Nung in-announce po namin yung auditions, wala pa kaming requirement na dapat, for example, you're a devotee or Catholic. In truth, some of our cast members are not Catholic. Opo. So, through the process po, tinignan po namin mostly is number one, how well they sing. Sing ang opera company ko there. And then we also looked at how well they act. And then, after that, tinignan din namin how well do they fit in characters in terms of how they look, the voices, yung training in a way. Tapos po, nagulat na lang kami probably kasi nung after everything was cast, na-cast na po yung mga roles, na saka lang namin nalaman, for example, like Alisa is someone, she grew up basically loving Mama Mary. So, those were nice surprises which came along the way. Pero, it was never a prerequisite.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Next po si Trixie Daos ng Sinso.
Hi. So, iba dito naka-work ko before under director's score. So my first question, I guess for Sherwin, kasi you had the rights na. Yeah, I mean for
the permission, the permission, yes.
Ilan ba talaga yung niya? Kasi di ba laging napapansin ko sa theater, may kanya-kanya silang longest running, ganyan. So, ito ba, di ba sabi ko dun longest running, ilang shows ba siya talaga? Before.
Well, ang sinasabi natin, it is always being called the longest running religious
Because of the year.
musical.
Mhm.
Oo, and to my knowledge, it's around 200.
200 shows.
200 shows already.
Longest running siya based sa years kasi 20 years siya nag-run tama ba?
And since 1996. Pero I think also because of the number of shows, pag sinabi natin religious musical.
Okay.
It's been performed kasi ang maganda with Magnificat, previously, they were able to stage it in very small venues. For example, the first one was in sa living room ni Pinky. That was the first show. And then they also were able to stage it sa Araneta Coliseum. So, ganun siya. It translates.
My next question is, ano yung, and for Anna, you mentioned that you went through, yun nga, yung sa troubles, yung other side of Mama Mary. So, was there another side of Jesus you've discovered here?
Another side of Jesus that I discovered here. Also it's also the depth of, in the Bible, the temptation and all that, the temptation of the devils, the temptation of Jesus. Just the depth of like what he had to take on. Not just the physical pain, but also the pain of the betrayal, that he was being betrayed left and right by the people closest to him. And ang gumanon sa akin about it, I know of it, but I did not realize how abandoned he really felt. Yung wala talaga hanggang, nanay lang niya, but lahat ng tinulungan niya. Kaya mayroong isang part na nasaan yung kinanta ni Mama Mary sa kanya na patay na si Jesus sa piyeta. Nasaan ang mga dati mong kasama? Bakit ito ang hato ng sangkatauhan? Iba pinagaling mo ang madla, pati ang mga patay pinagpala. So, yung depth ng kawawang-kawawa si Jesus na also like maybe consciously or subconsciously, sometimes I turn my head because it's just too much. But now that we're going through this journey, it's like, the beautiful thing about this musical, it's not, for me, I'm not seeing it religious, believe it or not. I'm seeing it as a musical of humanity, a musical about strength and love and perseverance and connection. That's Magnificat for me. I mean, and praise and love, but it's really, I going through this now, I don't see it as religious. I really see it as a musical, a musical on strength. And by the way, now that you're talking, this was my first musical also. I was in 2000. My first performance was in October of 2000. And parang kasi napansin ko, kasi first musical din ni Alisa. And then same month, tapos na ngayon, oh my gosh, this is the first time. I played all the roles except for Mary. So now, this is the first time I'm doing Mary, and this is her first professional musical. So it's just parang a wonderful blessing. Yeah.
For Miss Lourdes, when was the last time you directed production for theater, and how does it feel directing again after some time sa theater? Did you have to make any adjustments?
The last time I directed anything for theater was the opera Carmen, also with Lyric Opera of the Philippines, and also with Anna as Carmen, alternating also. The role was alternating also with someone else. So that was the last one. That was in 2012. 12 and 13. There were two productions. Yeah. And so 7 years after, this is my only other theatrical project.
For everyone since this is a religious production, sino yung religious character kahit hindi nasa Magnificat, sa Bible, na nagmarka sa inyo and why? religious character from the Bible.
Cain. For me, it's Cain.
Cain. Mama Mary na ako. Ako Mama Mary kasi I've always been my relationship with Mama Mary is like I know that bago kasi ako dumiretso kay Jesus, alam ko pupunasan muna niya yung mga madudumi sa akin para pag-present na kay Jesus, malinis-linis na ng konti. So I've always had that kapit kay Mama Mary and the whole family. I think, yeah. I mean, even when until my father's last breath, he was just hanging on to Mama Mary's promise of kasama kita, ako susundo sa'yo. So, it's a big thing in our family.
For me siguro si John the Baptist. Kasi, of course, knowing na he was the one who prepared the way for the Lord. And my family also is a devotee of John the Baptist. And he's the only saint, aside from Mama Mary, of course, na parang there's na merong 2 celebrations in a year for yung sa birth niya and then yung sa death. Because usually in death and celebrate ng Catholic Church when it comes to saints. But then yeah, he's one of the saints na ganun, aside from Mama Mary, of course.
I think I'm the same with Ate Ana. It's really Mama Mary. Kasi I grew up kasi at first, initially, I was away from my mom. So parang yung need ko na yon for that motherly love, siya yung nagbigay sa akin spiritually. And also the people when I undergone a lot of trials, difficulties before, I would just go to her and then I really felt consoled and loved. And actually most of the people in my life, my friends, my mga nuns na friends and priests, they're all devotees of Mama Mary. Kaya, she really helped me a lot. And also, she made me fall in love with Jesus more and more. Yeah, through her eyes and through her love as well. Yeah, so she's my favorite.
Ako favorite ko si Saint Joseph. He's the patron saint of my home. Kasi, lalo na, byuda ako, and then I was like, single mother, gano'n. But even when my husband was alive, Johnny was still alive, talagang, siya ang provider. Pag wala ng, sa kanya ako nang dadasal, wala masyadong, kasi tahimik lang siya eh. But he also did this, pag nakita niya na wala nang may pangangailangan yung pamilya, nagkukusa siya. So, I admire him. He is the man that I admire the most.
Thank you. We're down to our last question po from Jojo Panaligan of Manila Bunihin.
Simple lang po. I didn't realize direct kanina until Ana mentioned it na ang lalaki palang artista ang gumanap nito before, like sila Dulce pala. How did that factor in sa pagpili nyo sa cast? Ginusto nyo ba na ilapit yung talent nila sa mga talent noon, pero i-open nyo sila sa comparison? Or talagang nilayo nyo to give the portrayal or the performance talagang fresh perspective? What was your thought?
Hindi naman ako naghanap ng malalaki. In fact, gusto ko na may gano'n mga poste.
Okay.
But I'm also, alam mo naman, kahit sa Sinimalaya, di ba? Talagang ko yung maghanap ng mga bago. Bigyan ng pagkakataon. Kasi kung minsan, magugulat ka na lang, di ba? Matatagpuan mo dyan na ginto. Di ba? So, kung may mag-audition na malaking pangalan, good. Pero, kung hindi naman, yun ang binigay. I work with whoever is available as long as, gano'n din naman si Nestor eh. Whoever is available and is willing to learn and willing to do the work, fine. So, ganun din ako.
At saka, since nagtatrabaho din kayo sa TV, did it cross your mind na sana yung mga mga actors din sa TV would audition din para magkaroon ng hindi nila kaya because of the singing part ano.
Merong isang
Walang mag
merong isang baguhan sa GMA na
Star Magic na sa theater.
merong estudyante si Ana sa GMA na kasama sa cast. Pero yung mga busy na, hindi na makakanta yun. Wala nang oras yun at tulog ang boses doon. I mean, yung mga busy, but you know, it's open to everybody and there were a couple from
Some
TV,
people tried.
from artist center na nag-audition. May isang with a company.
I see.
Nag-audition lang din ako.
Hindi nakapasa. With the company.
Nasa Chorus.
Kailan kasi tawagin yung chorus dito sa Magnificat kasi
nga,
Ensemble, hindi siya chorus lang. Ano siya talaga, multiple roles. Average of 4 roles per person. So it's an ensemble aside from their chorus parts.